Welcome to this week's edition of Mainly Motorsports here with Greg Emerson, fresh from the beach. And wow, did we have some weather? We've had some weather. Obviously, it cooled back down. But
I didn't go to the beach.
I made an appearance. Well, I drove by. I had business to take care of, you know. So I can't. When was the last time you saw people strutting around in bathing suits and bikinis and all that stuff?
In March?
And, yeah.
Not too long ago. You know, last week we had that nice warm weather and all this stuff, and there was a thing on the news on the weather that night that we had the record high of whatever it was, 78 or 7 degrees or whatever. We were getting dumped on with snow last year at that time.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand weather and how it works, and
I don't care as long as it's dry when it's time to hit the track.
Yeah, and one of those years, I guess we could have started racing a little sooner, but I don't know if we're done. I mean, it's
right.
We might get some rain, and we might, but all these track owners got to be really pleased with everything.
I did drive by the Beach Ridge the other day, and Ralph was out dragging the parking lot. So.
Yeah, and that's obviously helps it dry up a little sooner.
Right.
I've talked to George up there, Bobby Weber, and you know these tracks are they're ready to start doing some testing.
Yeah.
So, Oxford, you know, you can.
Oxford's already open to test it, you know, as we speak. So.
Yeah, so it's wow, it's crazy, and you know, just allows people to start spending their money that much sooner. But I think the first race up here is Governor's Cup.
Yeah.
You know, over at Lee, and they've included, and we talked about a couple of weeks ago, the past sportsmen, and you guys will be involved. How's the Naughty 40 racing program coming together?
We'll let you know after the Governor's Cup, won't we?
Well, is everything together?
Still a little bit more stuff to take care of as far as the sportsman stuff, and but nothing major, you know.
No, that's good. And Dan's got that past sportsman deal figured out.
Yeah. Well, not the last year, but the years before that.
Well, the car's figured out. Just got to get the motor to stay together, right?
Right. That.
Whoever tell the guy that's building the motors, buy the parts off the shelf, not sweep them up off the floor, right? It works better that way. And
I don't know.
When we have Kendra on in a little bit later, maybe we'll ask her because her husband's a noted engine builder. Maybe she'll know if you're better off to buy them off the shelf or sweep them off the floor. What's going to last longer, you know? But usually when Dan has one of those off years on the past sportsman, the next year he comes back with a vengeance. Yeah,
and you know, I'm not going to say that we are because I'm an optimist and. I'm just not that way. I don't brag. So.
No, it's not bragging. But obviously,
we've done some different things. Let's put it that way. We've changed up some stuff, and you know, hopefully, we can get back to where we were as far as you know. We had a new car last year, and it just wasn't as good. So we worked on the front end a little bit.
No, Brick, he's not in the fold this year, right?
No.
And, is the Wildcat still running? Or?
Yep. I don't know the whole story behind it. That's Lyman's gig. I stay out of it.
Lyman likes to be top secret.
Yeah.
Top secret Lyman. But I'm hoping really for Laura's sake. She's put a lot of effort in this year and you know, trying to attract new sponsors, give her own identity, you know, trying to get away from
She's got a few of her own that she went out and got, and you know, we give her the purple car and some pink accents on it, and it's what she wanted. We changed it up a little bit. Yeah. Give her her own deal. And
these women out there in motorsports, it's just crazy how much you know, it's changed over the last few years. And you know, and we talked about Kendra Smith. She's going to be on in the next segment, and you know, she's doing so much with her program and the whole group. And
and you know, and a few weeks ago they you know, went up to the Auburn Mall and they had their stuff set up there, and you know, they were just at the Bangor Mall, and you know. Auburn Mall, they signed a bunch of new drivers to the program.
Same with Bangor, you know, they're attracting all these people. Realize what this program's all about. You know, and no bad can come out of it. Really, you know what I mean? There's no bad.
I'll allow Kendra to give me a hug when she gets a nationwide or a cup guy to sign with them.
I think they got a nationwide team.
You know,
is that like a special deal to give a Greg hug?
Yeah, it is.
So I'll know when
you got to earn one.
When I get a Greg hug, I'll know I've made it.
Yep.
I don't know if our arms are long enough.
The owl doesn't wrap his wings around many people.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So I should feel honored with you sitting next to me?
You should.
All right, I do. I do. But
hey, if I wasn't any good, I wouldn't have been here a year at this time.
Oh, my word. We probably should go to a break right now, but I can't because I'm going to let Greg sit on his high horse for a minute. You want me to get one of them Burger King crowns that we got sitting over there in the corner?
No, I'm not wearing a Burger
But no, you've done a good job, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And it is fun, you know. And I like it when you come.
I'm no Marco Thomas, but, you know.
Is there another Marco Thomas?
No, there
Thank
isn't.
God, huh? But Marco does a great job, and what a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
Really, I mean.
He's got a lot of history and a lot of knowledge, you know, current knowledge.
Yep.
He stays up on the pedestal.
But
you know.
we got a great show planned today. We're going to continue our little track. We're going to catch up with Chuck Gassett from the Saco Pathfinders.
Yep.
Was champion of a couple years ago. But talk a little bit about what they got going on over there. And you guys have heard me talk about the lawnmower racing and how fun it is.
Yeah, you got to get over and check it out if you haven't seen it, because it's
wild.
Pretty, yeah,
It's pretty wild. And then
it's pretty intense.
And then they're doing the go-karts there this year. So
Yep.
we got that. And then obviously we're going to hear from a pretty young gun.
Yeah,
Shelby Kimball, you know, and she was pretty excited, and a lot of her fans and family were very excited about her nomination into the one, one of the 10, which right now it's actually one of 8, and there'll be another one announced tonight, and then that leaves one spot left.
Yeah, there's only 2 left to be announced, and we're going to announce one tonight, and
Yeah.
one more week, and then everybody's going to know the top 10, and I won't have to hold secrets anymore. And
You don't even know, right? So no, it's good, but we're going to be a great show, and we're going to hear what Kendra has to say since the last time she was on here, and some of the things that she's been out there doing and helping spread awareness and making these young drivers, old drivers, anybody that'll listen, you know, be aware of the dangers of speed.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Where is the best place to get a new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep?
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors. I had an amazing experience at Southern Maine Motors.
When I drove off the lot, it was the greatest feeling to drive that new vehicle.
Southern Maine Motors 110% price guarantee just gives me the peace of mind that I know I'm getting the best deal around.
And we were really impressed with what we saw when we came down here.
I wouldn't go anyplace else.
No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions, the official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. LKQ Core, any part, any repair, anywhere. Located on Route 202 in Gorham.
Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine, 04062. And please add a description of the show.
Hey, I'm Steve Mignonti. You might see me on the Barrett Jackson Collector Car Auctions on Speed Channel, or maybe read my stuff in Hot Rod and Carcraft magazine. But when I'm in Maine, I get my fix from Mainly Motorsports.
Now we're here with somebody that's becoming one of our regulars. You're like a stand-in, fill-in, but we just like to have you on so you can just keep the state of Maine and all our viewers up to date on what's going on with Kendra, her whole organization, because you're like the general, and I know there's a big army of people behind you in Save Speed for the Track. And since the last time you were on, I know you've been pounding the car show circuit and doing some other things, but take us through a little bit of what's been going on.
Well, we went to the Auburn Mall 2 weeks ago, and we signed, I think we signed 14 new drivers. We met up with Crazy Horse Racing, and they offered to help us out too, trying to sign up the people that they, build their cars, act drivers.
Yep.
And they talked to us about a program that they've started. It's where they take 7th and 8th graders, and those 7th and 8th graders are building a car through their shop. It'll be raced at OPS in 2013 season. It's so many dynamics of it. They've got to actually build a car. They've got to go out and get the sponsors. They've got to go out and get It's everything.
What a great idea, because one of the things that these young kids at any age lack is responsibility, you know, and
definitely.
And that's showing them, you know, and then in the end, they got to be also very proud of what they accomplished, because they did it as a group, as young, is it men and women? Or,
yeah, it's boys and girls. And the thing that I liked about it was, what made me excited about that is that it's also going to teach them what we're trying to teach them. You know, what goes into the safety of a race car and why a race car is the only place that speed belongs.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. I kind of can't wait to see what they come out with and what the final product looks like. And I'm really happy for the people at Crazy Horse Racing.
No, and Mitch and Judy and that whole group there, they're supportive. They're involved in the young gun competition, anything. They, you know, and they don't do it just to get their name out and get the laurels and the glory. They truly are 100% behind all this stuff, you know.
Yes, Mitch and Judy both came to the Auburn Mall, grabbed up some information, wanted to know how they could help, how they could be involved, and just went right out promoting, you know, this is a cause we really believe in. So
yeah,
I really appreciated that.
And how about the growth that you've seen this year, you know? And I think back, because it was about this time last year that I was first introduced to what you guys were all about. You had the kind of a little meeting, and I'm not saying it was your kickoff meeting, but it was kind of like your first big to do. You had it up to Terry Billadue's, and then, you know, where it's coming a year, and the whole group, and how much hard work everybody's put in. I mean, my hat's off to everybody, you know, and it doesn't stop, you know.
It doesn't.
Just when you guys clear one hurdle, you could just make a sigh of relief and go, oh, no, that's done. But you look for that next step, and you know, and it's amazing.
We got a huge compliment. The Northeast Mini Stock Tour came over to us at the Expo show and said that they were looking to help the Texas Roadhouse find a charity that would be able to be in conjunction with going to some of their shows. And so a couple weeks later, we met with the advertisers for and one of the owners of the Texas Roadhouse. And when we got done telling him everything we had done, he actually looked at Ron and I and said, this has only been in the works a year. You've come this far in a year. You know, and so it was a real big compliment to us, and they're looking to help us too. So I mean, it's all the help we get. It's everybody stepping up, and the drivers and the owners, and I mean, we don't do this alone.
No.
Definitely don't do this alone. It's the drivers, the people like you, the people that let us into the shows. Dan Morris got us into Auburn. Speedway 95 got us into Bangor.
Yeah.
So I mean.
And how neat, because obviously everybody in the Beech Ridge market, because that's where you're from. Ron, you know,
that's our
raced there forever.
home.
And, not that Ron's old, but he raced there forever.
He's old.
Everybody knows you. But how about when you go to Auburn and you get to meet some people that they've seen you or heard about you on Mainly Motorsports, or seen you guys at a show and not really paid attention. Now it's up close and personal, and they're able to talk to you. Or Bangor, and you're able to reach those outlying communities to us. I mean, that's a big deal.
It is. It's and what I like too is meeting people that know who we are, and we have no clue who they are. And it, not sounding that in a you know, superficial sense, but just in the idea that it's actually getting out there. You know, like I told you in the past, having kids contact us to help families with funeral costs means they've heard. That's something we do.
Yep.
So it's getting out there. And then just this 2 weekends ago when we were at Auburn, we had a couple of kids come over to sign up, one being one of your young guns, Ryan Hewins.
Yep.
And they came over looking at all the boards and were pointing out how they knew 3 kids off one board, and how important it was to be able to put this logo on their car, and how much they wanted to believe in it.
That's a huge deal. And I remember everybody, you know, they would say to me, geez, how come you don't put the sticker on, you know, Alicia's cars or her cats? And I've told everybody right from the beginning, when she's ready, this isn't about me throwing a sticker on, and I want her to understand. And now she's still a year away from the permit and license process, but you know, when we were at the Expo show and she took the time, and I didn't realize, but she read a lot of the boards. I don't know, I think it was at the go-kart race last year, and she said, Dad, I could only get halfway through. It's sad. It's very sad that these kids that are my age or a little older are dying. I couldn't read no more, you know. So I said, wow, she understands it. And then she came to me at Portland, and I made her realize that this is, obviously you're not driving, but you have friends. You need to stand up.
That's just equally as important.
Stand up to your friends if they're making wrong decisions, whether you're with them or not with them, if you're hearing about it, you know. And I think that's huge. And I was so proud of her as a parent that she sees the value in something. And it wasn't just because that's what all the cool kids are doing and putting the stickers on. She wanted to be a part of it and feel like she can do her part. So, and that's neat when Ryan Hewen steps up. And, you know, obviously he's doing it to help you guys, but it hit home. Yeah. 3 names up on that board have been buried that he knows, you know, and that's a tough deal.
You could tell talking to Ryan and Jonah, it was Jonah Farrington was the other one, that they honestly felt that heart tug. And the beauty of it too is no driver that has a Save Speed for the Track sticker on their car has it on it just because. Yeah. We have them read through what we expect from them, and then after, if they still want to be a part of it, they fill out the application and they do it.
And I know it's tough when you end up in victory lane and you only got so much time, and obviously you got to thank the people that have got you there and given you the money. But I still think back to when I was doing the trackside interviews at Unity, and Kevin Hutchins finished second or third, and you know, I didn't say nothing, think nothing, gave him a chance to thank people, and I mean, he basically took it and ran.
My parents, Save Speed for the Track, it's a great cause, and everybody should really pay attention to that, because I had a friend killed less than 9 months ago, just speed, he died instantly. I don't want anybody else to go through what I had to go through in our whole school, so just don't drive fast, do it at the racetrack, and just...
And I was just like, this is what it's about. He had the floor, and he took it. And you know, when those race fans hear it from somebody that they look up to, or a young driver or respect, it's going to hit home. And that's what these guys need to do. And I know it's hard to, you know, I mean, you don't think of it sometimes, and then you go, but when you get the chance and you get out on the front stretch, you know, throw it out there.
Just say Save Speed for the Track. Remember to save speed for the track.
You know. So it is a big deal, and you know, you guys have done a great job, and I say that every time, and people probably get sick and tired of me hearing it, but
I don't.
You don't?
No, not at all.
All right, someday, I know Greggy said that you'll someday earn a hug. Someday I'll give you a pat on the back.
I don't know why Greggy's saying that, because he's already hugged me.
You know what? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky Greg.
Yeah, he has hugged me, whether he wants to admit to it or not. But.
So Greg felt the firm grip.
He did.
The firmness.
The firmness, yes, he did.
Firm, very firm.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break, and when Kendra comes back, she's going to tell you all about the fundraiser dance she's got coming up, and maybe you can get a hug and feel the firmness.
Absolutely.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and their new Turner location on Route 4.
Clark's Car Crushing has been a family-owned and operated business since 1978. We do everything from crushing cars, handling industrial scraps, to buying the scrap metal right out of the back of your pickup. Copper, brass, stainless steel, aluminum, you name it, we'll buy it. We have roll-off containers of all sizes for industrial accounts. We'll handle the legwork with full drop-off and pickup services. So for a professional job, guaranteed honest weights, and top dollar paid statewide, come see the Clark family in Farmingdale, Maine. Clark's Car Crushing. Don't fix it, scrap it.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel. Moody's Collision Centers, now in 5 convenient locations: Biddeford, Gorham, Portland, Sanford, and Scarborough.
Now, April 13th.
Excited.
I mean, last year was huge. It far exceeded any expectations you had.
Definitely.
So it's the second annual Save Speed for the Track fundraiser.
Yep, April 13th at the Roost.
At the Roost. I grew up in Buxton, didn't know where the Roost was. So I'd been there a couple times for other weddings and stuff. But when I walked in there last year, it was like, oh my goodness, there are some people here, you know?
It started out a little slow, and we were kind of like, well, you know, we knew we sold tickets, and everybody had practice the next day, so we were kind of worried about that. And then all of a sudden, it was wall-to-wall people. It was great, and within a couple hours of the show ending, I mean the fundraiser ending, people were coming up and saying, "You're gonna have a second one, right? You're gonna do a second one." It was a blast. We had a great show, great time last year. I can't wait for this year.
Yeah, no, and it's just it's almost like I look at it as that last chance for the racers to all get together before they strap the helmets on and get into game, you know, the game face on. Just have a good time, you know, and it's all for a good cause. You know?
There was a ton of race car drivers there last year, and from every. I mean, some that didn't get along You know, they were just there to support, and it was great. We had a blast last year.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be nice to the drivers this year by making sure it wasn't the night before a practice, so that they could actually have a good time and not have to worry.
Yeah, well, you got to put your priorities straight. And
Yeah,
to me,
definitely.
it'd be go to the fundraiser, and I mean, it's practice. You follow basketball. Remember Allen Iverson's press conference years ago?
We don't need practice.
We need practice, right? You know, if you're that good. And listen, these guys have all been to Beech Ridge how many years? If they can't drive around Beech Ridge with their eyes closed, you know, they probably shouldn't be racing.
Most of them had to last year after the fundraiser.
Wow. Yeah. So, you know, now the tickets, they're $15 a piece or $25, $50 a piece, whatever. You know.
$15 per person, or if it's a couple, it's $20.
So if you bring a couple, even if you're a guy and you're going alone and your friends are going alone, go together and save $5 or $10.
We actually have people that have done that.
Really?
Yeah.
Cheap. Don't be so cheap. Just give Kendra $30 and call it good.
30, 50, 100.
Yeah, whatever she needs, just give it to her. But so how do they get the tickets? And
they can go on the website. There's telephone numbers. Email us. But there are everybody's telephone numbers on the website, so they can, and even on Facebook. Contact us and we'll get you the tickets. They're all.
Yeah, and it's a great time. And one of the things I was thinking about, and I'm going to throw it at you, and you can slap me if you're like, oh, why do you do that? But this thing is taken off so well first year, and hopefully the second year is going to be good. Maybe next year, it doesn't have to be in April to go inside with this one, maybe a couple months earlier. We could do one. When I say we, I don't want to volunteer my services, but...
Oh, you just did.
Oh, I did. We, me, you know.
You.
Something up in the middle part of the state. You know, Augusta.
Oh, I love that.
You know, the Augusta area or Waterville, you know, and maybe get some people on board to help out from up there and bring more attention to what you guys are trying to do.
I would love that.
Up into that. So
we've gotten a lot of response from up there this year. Now that it's getting out there more and more, like you said, I mean, we live in the South. We're primarily Beech Ridge people, but we've reached out and we've gotten so much response up there. And I'd love to do something up there to get everybody involved in those.
Yeah, so there's no reason those guys can't travel down this weekend. You know, whenever this is, April 13th. It's a Friday. Come down, get a hotel, and or stay at Ron and Kendra's, or stay wherever you got to stay, and you know, have a good time.
Stay at Steve Perry's.
You can. I won't be there, but you can.
You'll be at Ron and Kendra's, won't you?
I think I got practice the next day at Loudon. My kid does, so.
Really?
Yeah, but it'll be all right. I can go from the dance to Loudon. That's no big deal. But no, and that's great. And you know, anybody that just gets a chance to come to the dance or sees you guys out and about this year, learn more about your program. Look at the boards, and I know you're going to do all you can to hit every track at some point
definitely.
throughout the season. You know.
We've been actually contacted from tracks outside of Maine too.
Really?
So we're going to try to make those tracks too. Talked with Twin Speedway today.
Twin State?
Twin State Speedway. They asked us to come down in April as well. And we're doing a lot with the state too. So we're traveling all over the place right now.
So this thing's taking off.
It really is. I'm the only civilian on the state of Maine teen driver. Help me.
Teen driver safety.
State of Maine teen driver safety.
Yeah.
Dave's going to have to cut that out.
Yeah, so, no, I mean, so next year, when you guys all go to the Northeast Motorsports Expo, and you buy these calendars, my swimsuit, my Mainly Motorsports TV calendar, Kendra being in there, be a celebrity, be like all the hard work, so you can have Kendra sign. I mean, Kendra's already picked out her bathing suit.
No.
I've seen it, and we're not putting it out there because I don't want to, you know.
As a matter of fact, the chances of me getting into it is the same as you getting into it. So I'll tell you what, why don't you put it on for the fundraiser? We'll raise money that way. If you get in it, I'll get in it.
For what?
We're going to raise money for the fundraiser.
Well, what are you going to get in it for?
Because you got in it.
Where, though? I mean, you're going to do it in the friendly confines out in front of thousands of people? Or?
No, I ain't doing it in front of thousands of people. You have to do your part of it in front of thousands of people.
Listen, I'll just give you the money. There'll be people that'll give you money for me not to get in it.
Either way.
And I'll just give you money for me not to get in it. So, but make sure you stop up. Come to the Roost. The dance is like from 7 to 8.
7 to 12.
7 to 12. Great time for a great cause. And any information, it's on Facebook. You guys are all over the place. The website. Obviously, you can contact us here at Mainely Motorsports, and we'll get you the information, and you'll sell some tickets at the door, I imagine. But it's a lot easier if you have them ahead of time. You know?
we're trying to keep the door sales limited just so we can keep capacity.
What is the capacity?
It's 300, and we went way over that last year.
So we're going to go over it again this year. Maybe we got to do it in shifts.
That's pretty much how it happened last year.
Really?
Yeah.
And do they give you a number, or do they?
They were great.
Really?
They really worked with us.
Maybe we can have Louie and. you know, because Louis is on the fire department up there, pull a few strings.
Oh, maybe.
Louis.
Louis.
Louis. All right, well, I know you got a busy night, so
thank you
for coming on, and look forward to doing anything we can. And remember, tell them the website.
www.savespeedforthetrack.org.
That's right. Thanks, Kendra. We'll see you next time.
Steve.
And we'll be right back, and we're going to hear from Chuck Gassett, who happens to be the lawnmower racing representative for the Save Speed. They got them all covered.
Definitely, yes.
All right, we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Patman himself, just letting you know that Patman's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
All of us at Moody's Collision Centers would like to thank you for supporting us for over 30 years.
We all own stock in Moody's and have a vested interest in you and your vehicle.
The people at Moody's Collision Centers are part of the community, and our reputation is very important to us.
We take pride in our work and guarantee our repairs for as long as you own your vehicle.
At Moody's Collision Center, we care about our customers.
So when your insurance company asks where you want to go, tell them Moody's Collision Centers. 4 convenient locations: Gorham, Scarborough, Biddeford, and now Portland.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid. Geary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports.
Hey, I'm Kyle Busch, and when I'm in Maine, I watch Mainly Motorsports.
Welcome back to Mainly Motorsports, and as we continue on through our kickoff to the season, which for all these tracks, and they could have started racing a lot earlier than their schedule would allow, but you know, who knows, next year we could get hammered with snow. But the Saco Pathfinders, you've heard me talk about them over there. I was heavily involved with them a few years back, and we got one of their former champions, 2009 Sportsman champion, and that's Chuck Gassett. I'd like to welcome you to Mainly Motorsports.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm glad to be here, believe me.
Now, I first met Chuck, and when he was the assistant track announcer. You had ever heard him on mic because his dad, Charlie Gassett, and you know, anybody that's been to Box Shop Speedway, he had a year duty at Beechridge. If you've been to the lawnmowers, you recognize Charlie, and he really loves that microphone, doesn't he?
Yeah, I was pretty much just the extension cord puller there for a while, hooking up machines and for him and everything, and then I started getting on the infield, helping out with accidents when they had them and stuff, but that kind of got me the fever, I guess.
The fever, and wouldn't it have been much better to get the fever of something that's a little safer than the race?
I did the go-karts for quite a few years, and that was definitely safer. I'd been upside down in those a couple times and everything, and I actually did a stint in 2006 and 2007 with the Pro Series over at Beechridge.
I remember that.
Yeah, and that was kind of, I learned that you need money. And with the tractors, I learned it was a lot better and everything. But
you talk about the go-karts. Now, you did that back in like 2001. So you were actually in your 30s, early 40s?
Yeah. Right.
In your 30s,
I'm 43 right now, so yeah.
So you got a late start to the racing game. Kind of like our buddy Pluffy. You know him from the lawnmowers, you know? I mean, he did the same thing. So what did you find? You know, we talked to these kids that got the early start, and we have the Young Gun program going on, and these kids are all looking for, you know, the opportunity to get a race at Loudon, and they're in the age group of 15 to 21. Here's you starting at the high 30s to just start out your racing career in karts, you know?
Yeah, I actually started, Trevor Sanborn was racing at the same track, and you can see talent, you know, and everything in these kids. And I knew, I mean, I can drive. I'm not going to brag or anything. Yep. I can drive a tractor. I can't drive a pro stock because I don't have the money to do it. And the go-karts, you know, that taught me a lot. That definitely, if you're going to go into cars, you want to get into karts. That's the way you want to go. Tractors is for crazy old men.
Crazy old men.
But the tractors are fun too. They're a good starter. There's some classes, you know, that are really decent and everything. But if you're going to start out in cars, you definitely want to start out in a kart.
Now, the tractors down at Saco Pathfinder started in 2006. And when that started, it reminded me of when a track starts a new class. you have a couple people, which they had, Scott Powers and Rick Grant at the time, that did their research and really came out of the box and were prepared.
Yeah.
And then you had the next group that just said, oh, all we got to do is change a pulley and go race.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more to it than that. You know, so then the next year, they had that group over from Pulling Heavy Industries show up with a dozen or 14 mowers. And, you know, some of those had a little bit extra effort put in, and some of them were just for people to race. But that's when that thing really took off. We introduced it to a lot of people, and boy, it was a lot of fun that year. And that was when you and your dad got involved.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of excitement to it, too. And like you said, the more tractors, obviously, the more cars on a track, the better it's going to be, too. But those years there were actually really great. I mean, I'm glad that I got the chance for my championships at Saco to race with 14 tractors. I've gone to the rear before and come up front, you know, and won those races. And, you know, as far as the pro stock, those were my better races in the tractor. I had a good time, and you got to do your homework, even with the tractor. With the carts, you're really going to do your homework, you know, and that's why I think the younger kids getting into it, and I know Saco is going to be starting up a thing, hopefully there for the carts, and it's a good opportunity to get your kids out there. It's going to cost a little bit of money, but the learning curve you need.
Oh, yeah.
You need to have the learning curve.
And Mo Arsenault is kind of taking the bull by the horns, and he's introducing go-karts to the Saco Pathfinders. And they're going to race on the dirt, and could be a pretty good opportunity because there are a lot of, and I talked to them, you know, a lot of people still miss the old dirt days. And, you know, I know there's the Unity dirt track up there, and there's Boondocks, and there's a couple of them in the state that run the vintage cars on the dirt. But to be able to race the karts on the dirt, you know, there's some people that are actually out there doing that now. Jay Cushman's son is down, just came back from a race in South Carolina that was all dirt. Said they had like 500 karts there, so it's big down south. Up here, it's going to be an introduction, but it's huge down south.
Yeah, I think it will do pretty good because of the old-fashioned racing that started in Maine here, you know, Beechridge being the clay track and everything. Starting out like that, I think it's going to bring so-and-so's grandmother and grandfather to the track that saw Beechridge run when it was like that. They're going to be able to see their kid or whatever running on Saco's track like that. So I think it's going to stir up a lot of good Maine racing.
You know, and then we all look at the weather outside and we think racing's right around the corner. Well, it is, but it's still further away than we realize. You know, they're still 2 months away from practice. So you still have plenty of time. Their first practice, I believe, is going to be May 25th, and then they open up the following Friday, which is, I think, June 1st. So, you know, there's still plenty of time to, whether you want to race a lawnmower or you want to get into the kart thing. And, and one other thing that I've started to notice the last couple of years when I've been over there, Chuck, is, you know, you're not only racing your deal, but you're trying to promote and try to build the organization as a whole and try to get new people into it.
Yeah. I mean, racing is racing, and you see people racing beer coolers now and stuff with little motors on them. It's just the thrill of the race. And like I said, no matter if it's a modified tractor, a regular tractor, or a go-kart, you're still going to get the same thrill, you know, and it's just different learning curves. And, you know, like with my modified, I had been working on it for months now, a brand new one, you know, going through it, stock frame and everything, going through it. And you can still be heavily involved in just a lawnmower, believe it or not. So
yeah, and I remember people tell me I'm crazy when I tell them this, but I said when we did ours and we did a little bit of extra modifications, and I remember having a guy at work say, get in the 3-yard dump truck, I want you to follow me down Route 5, I want you to stay on my bumper and let me know how fast I'm going. But if I fall off, you got to hit the brakes. Don't be like gawking at the accident as you become involved and run over me. So when we got done and it came back, he's like, and I knew it was going because I was shaking. You know, the whole thing was, he goes, 48 miles an hour. And I said, that's moving on a lawnmower. You know, with no helmet and no protection and no seatbelt. And obviously they do have some safety precautions out there. And it's just like a Pro Series car at Beechridge. They might hit 85, 90 miles an hour. But if they were in a straight line, they'd go obviously a lot faster. But you guys don't hit nowhere near those speeds there. But there is still that danger factor when you hook wheels.
Exactly. Believe it or not, the track that I built this year was based around safety. because where I am an old man, I'm getting sick of flipping. So this one's going to be made, and hopefully there's some other guys that do really good with the safety aspect. And a lot of people at Soccer, when they start off with the lawnmowers, they'll start off with a stock one. I tell some of the older guys, build a modified, because you can do more to keep it lower to the ground and wider and everything. So you don't necessarily have to start off with all the 18 and 20-year-olds in the stock lawnmowers that are crazy. Because believe me, on the modifieds, they're flying. I mean, I had nowhere near the motor that these guys had last year. I just had some handling down and I had the right races. That was about it. Because, I mean, there was a lot of veterans there that I was racing with that were really good.
Yeah.
But as far as getting it to handle and everything, you got to do your homework with that. So
there is some work involved with the mowers.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
We thought we were doing a lot of work, and that's one of the things I noticed. When I go now, you guys are sitting on your mowers, almost like sitting in a Cadillac.
Yeah.
You're riding them, you're racing them.
Yeah.
I mean, we manhandle them. I mean,
I watched the videos. Yeah, I saw them. I was there.
I used to hang on that thing to try to get it to turn.
I'd watch you come around the corner, and I'd be like, okay, he's got 10 more laps, and that right front is starting to cave. And I'm like, Steve, I don't know how much longer you can go, but I thought it was going to break right off.
But now you guys have got it all figured out, you know. And,
we do pretty good with it.
And, you know, you don't see nowhere near the wheels breaking, and that was part of my problem with, you know, being a bigger guy, the wheels breaking off. You know, and I tell people, these lawnmowers aren't made to do what they're doing.
No.
You know?
Nowhere near.
And I remember, and you must remember the night where all the pass guys showed up.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We got some highlights that you've seen, and that's some of the pass racing.
Yeah.
And, you know, those guys showed up, and they said, where's the brakes? I go, there ain't no brakes. The person laying in the ground is going to be the brakes.
Exactly.
Right in front of you. And I know they've changed that around because they,
you
know, they got some guys over there that are really safety conscious. Me, I didn't care. I didn't care about the brakes. I didn't care about how fast it went. I just wanted to put on a show.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you need to get up the next day and go to work.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No. Most of the time I knock mine in neutral and pull the safety switch if it's really a bad one. But believe it or not, I've gone through stock brakes, not even touched them all year. So
really,
I don't really get into the brakes that much, and you know, unless somebody's in front of me, obviously. But no, they will lock them up and everything. They make sure that the safety is definitely there at Saco and everything.
Yeah. Now, we mentioned that they're going to start racing June 1st, and every other Friday over there that they'll be going on the events. They'll have the lawnmowers as well as the go-karts. And I'll tell you guys, if it's something, and I know you guys have seen it before on the show, but if you're just learning about Mainly Motorsports and starting to follow along with us, take a Friday night that you're looking for something to do. And I encourage that for everybody to do this year. You know, if you're a diehard Beechridge guy or Unity or Oxford or something, take a weekend, not every weekend, but once in a while, and go check something else out. Prove to yourself that you're a race fan, not just a particular track fan. Go check out the lawnmowers or something else.
I think racing is a totally different sport. I mean, when you're out there on the tractor, you're by yourself. It's not baseball. You don't have the other guys. It's not football. You're relying on the other people. So, I mean, racing, even if somebody wanted to get into this type of racing, run the outside the whole race. You don't have to win your first races, but get out there and do it. And say that you're doing it. That's all you have to do.
With Scotty, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And you'd be surprised, out of 14 tractors, when there's only 7 that finish, and you got a guy that's consistently 5th, and you know what that brings sometimes? A 3rd in a championship. I've seen it happen.
And I know the year that I ran in 2007, and I was fortunate enough to win the championship, and part of that was because I scared some of the competitors off by running into them, and they were fearing for their lives, so they left. But we had quite a battle, me and Pluffy, and it seemed like every week I was either taking a trophy home or getting somebody to help me load it because I wrecked it. You know what I mean? But and there was Pluffy who did win a race because mine broke, but he was consistent every week because he finished. That was in a chance to win a championship.
Exactly.
Might not have been the fastest one, but he was there every week.
It's the name of the race. That you know, some races are for you, and some, like you said, you just ride it out, and it's not your day.
And like Bobby Timmons says, if you can't win the show, be the show.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the way I always felt like I wanted to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But I want to thank you for coming down with us and taking the time with us on Mainly Motorsports, talking about the lawnmowers and trying to encourage the viewers to check out some different things. And how about you for 2012? Are you coming back?
Yeah, I'm coming back with the modified and everything. Yeah, I got some decent sponsors and everything, and some new technology, hopefully. There's some really good racers out there in the modified, so I gotta find a way to get them. But
so you got some mention your sponsors, take a chance?
I got Central Furniture has been with me since I've been racing, so I really want to point them out. And I have CIA Salvage, which they're really decent. Dennis and Kevin and the guys and the girls in the office.
And actually, they're a scroll sponsor.
Yeah,
on here.
and the other one is Lee Amsoil this year.
Yeah.
So we're really going to rev that motor up, and we're going to put Amsoil to the test.
There you go, and that's what that Amsoil stuff that
yeah.
I run nothing but it.
Yeah.
You know, and a guy like me that's not good on the maintenance program and pretty hard on equipment, and nothing breaks on that end.
Yeah, I'm going to prove something for the lawnmowers for Lee, so
really,
we'll see what happens.
All right, well, that's good. Well, thank you again for coming down and taking the time with us. And like I said, folks, June 1st they start up, and take one of those Friday nights and go down and check it out. And especially now with the go-karts, you get double the value for your money. It's cheap to get in, and if you tell them that the guy from Mainly Motorsports sent you, they'll let you in free.
Exactly.
But actually they won't, but try it. They might, right?
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks, and we'll be right back here on Mainly Motorsports.
Okay. Where is the best place to get a new Chrysler, Dodge, or Jeep?
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
Southern Maine Motors.
The new 2012 Dodge Grand Caravan delivers. Chances are you'll need to stop before it will. Delivering more than 25 miles per gallon, that's 500 miles per tank. Errands, soccer, baseball, or loaded full of college stuff, you'll get it all done easily with your new minivan from Southern Maine Motors. No other dealer is working as hard to be #1 as Southern Maine Motors.
5 years ago, I went shopping for my family's first camper. I didn't like the prices, and I didn't like the way I was treated. A year later, I opened up Scott's Recreation.
Today, Scott's Recreation is Maine's exclusive multi-line Heartland dealer, along with being Maine's #1 fifth-wheel dealer 2 years in a row. Browse through the new 2012 Heartland models or take advantage of closeout prices on 2011s. Scott's welcomes almost anything in trade, financing available too. Scott's Recreation, Route 202 in Manchester, and our sister company, Holton Power Sports, North Street, Holton.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Award Champs, rewarding your champions. The official supplier of Mainly Motorsports. Southern Maine Motors, out to be Maine's #1 Chrysler Dodge Jeep dealership. Route 1 Saco. Clark's Car Crushing, located in Hollowell, providing guaranteed honest weights with top dollar being paid. Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta. The official hotel of Mainly Motorsports.
Hi, I'm Shelby Kimball. I race at Speedway 95 in the Strictly Street Division, number 08. I'm 20 years old and from Cornville, Maine.
Okay, Shelby, how good does this feel to know that the state of Maine has spoke and you were voted in as one of the 10 young guns in this Maine Young Gun competition?
Really, it's just an honor. I mean, it's huge to be chosen out of all the drivers in the state of Maine, the young drivers. I'm happy just to be in the top 10, and it's huge. I mean, getting the name out there and maybe picking up sponsors and really helping for the future.
Yeah, and everyone that I've spoke to up in this point, and I want to hear what you have to say, talks about what this opportunity is going to mean for the winner. Mm-hmm. You know, obviously 10 of you can't win. There's only going to be one winner.
Right.
But what is this opportunity to race down at Loudon in a K&N car going to mean for the winner of this competition?
It's huge. I mean, I really don't know what to say. It's just awesome. I can't believe everybody put this together, and it was a great idea. Really good idea, and I can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah, well, no, it's good, and it's well-deserved, and each one of the 8 finalists so far, and there's 2 more to go, all are very deserving of this honor, and it's great that Archie was able to step up and work with us and give somebody the opportunity.
Yep.
But you're 20 years old. When did you start your racing career?
I started when I was 16. I started racing at Unity, and we moved to Speedway, and we always went and watched, and then I saw a race car in the Uncle Henry's, and I said, Dad, I want a race car. And they just thought, my parents just thought, oh, it'll be a phase and she'll grow out of it. And he goes, if you want to buy your own race car, go ahead. So I saved up a little bit of money and got a cheap car, and we started racing and stuck with it, and I love it.
And you know, the thing that's pretty neat about you is a lot of times you see, especially on TV, you know, I think back to the Happy Days years. Now, your parents probably know Happy Days, you don't. You had Richie Cunningham and you had his daughter Joni, his sister Joni. Well, you're different. You're the older one, and you have a younger sibling that kind of looks up to you, Matt, and he's doing his own racing. But how much of an influence are you able to help Matt in his racing career?
I think I'm a pretty big influence. I mean, when we're at home, we're total opposite. We fight like brother and sister, but when we're at the track, we work together, and I give him as much advice as I can. And he's not afraid to come up to me and ask questions and what can I do to get around this person, or how, just different strategies. And he really looks up to me.
No, that's good. Now, week in, week out, there are some other women up there at Speedway 95 to race, but how much has this whole Danica thing really enlightened the fact that we have some pretty good races here in the state of Maine, females. We have one here that's a young gun finalist. What do you think the fans are now thinking about you women that race?
I don't think people really thought, well, she's a girl, she can't do it. But Danica's showing that her name's gotten out there pretty. She's got a big name now, and she's really stepped up, and she's doing awesome, and everybody's excited because she's a girl, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's a huge deal, and then. And then there are so many women and then so many kids. And in this opportunity, right now, you are the only woman in this finalist of 10. So there's probably going to be a bunch of eyes on you and see how far can you go in this. And if nothing else, you can use this as a marketing tool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think that most people look at it as, oh, she's a girl. She's not going to do what a guy can do. But I want to show them.
You want to show them, and you've showed them. I mean, last year you had a great year. You won a couple races. I mean, Andrew McLaughlin was the king of that class, but there was weeks where you were right on his bumper, or he was right on your bumper, and you were showing him the way around, you know?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun racing in that class and stepping up. A lot of competition, but I loved it, and we all get along. There's never been a problem. If we have a question, we'll go ask one another or whatever. We really work together. It's a good class.
Now, 2012 and beyond, I mean, obviously you're coming back with the Strictly. All eyes are on that championship. I'm sure you'd love to capture it. What do you see in the future for Shelby Kimball in racing?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully a late model someday. That would be awesome. I can't wait, but we'll see what happens, you know. I'm happy where I am right now, but we'll see.
Oh, and that's good, and no sense to rush things along. Anybody else you want to talk? I mean, there's got to be people that have been behind you every step of the way to get you where you are today at a 20-year-old girl that is one of the main young gun finalists, or one of the top 10, but also one of the top drivers at Speedway 95.
I really got to thank my family. I mean, they've been there in and out. My boyfriend's been there, and my dad, since day one, has helped work on the cars. And I mean, he's got two of us now, but he's done amazing. And then Dave and John, and of course all my sponsors, Subway and Work Store and Athens Corner Store, Comic Alpine, just all my sponsors, definitely. Everybody's got me to where I am, and I can't thank them enough.
All right, Shelby. Well, good luck in the whole competition thing. And that's 20-year-old. She just informed me she's 20. 20-year-old Shelby Kimball, finalist number 8 in the main young gun competition.
Hey, are you Bob Crowley?
Hey, yeah.
Are you going to Ossipee Trail?
Yes, I am.
Sweet. Get in.
People will do whatever they gotta do to get to Ossipee Trail Motor Sales, Route 25, Gorham.
Patman's Redemption and Agency Liquor Store is located at 95 Tanberg Trail in Windham, Maine. With over 400 feet of hard liquor and 15 doors of ice-cold beer and soda, Patman's can handle all of your beverage needs. And if it's wine on your agenda, we have over 300 varieties in stock. Then when the party's over, Patman's can handle all of your Maine returnables, and we welcome all bottle drives. And if you're late for the race, drop off the bottles and pick up the cash at your convenience.
Hey, this is Pat Man himself, just letting you know that Pat Man's is your one-stop shop for all your thirsty needs.
Today's vehicles are equipped with complex safety features such as anti-lock brakes, seatbelt restraints, and airbag systems. Even collision avoidance systems. Not available in all models. Hi, I'm Sean Moody from Moody's Collision Centers. We don't wish bad luck on anyone, but even with today's technology, we need to keep our eyes on the road and our hands on the wheel.
Moody's Collision Centers, now with 6 convenient locations.
Mainly Motorsports, brought to you by Gary Hotels, located in Brunswick, Freeport, Waterville, and Augusta, the official hotel of Mainly Motorsports. Northern Race Tire, dealer for Sunoco Race Fuels, distributed by New England Racing Fuel.
Well, another episode of Mainly Motorsports has just flown by, and everybody's sitting on the edge of the seat knowing there's counting.
I was in the beginning,
2.
And then I get shuffled right to the end.
Yeah, so.
What's 2? 2 what?
2 young guns.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, 2 young guns left. So there's a lot more than 2
to go,
kids.
And 1 left after this.
1 left after this. So, you know what's been pretty neat about this whole process, and I've heard it from some families that, you know, they tune in and sit around each week and, you know, waiting to hear that announcement. And, you know, it's got to be pretty cool when you're one of 10, you know, and there's no promises. Now it's, you know, and we've already, trust me, I've been following along, know what's going on, paying attention, got my spies out there, and, you know.
Yeah.
And I will say, for the 8 that have been picked up to this point, every one of them, very good young men and a young lady.
Right.
You know what I mean? Really, really good. What I consider, if I had a kid looking up to a racer and they looked up and after these ones, all good role models.
Right, yeah.
You know, they're all a little rough around the edges sometimes, but you know what? I was 15, 16, 18 or whatever at one point. I'm 46 now and still have a tendency to be rough around the edges sometimes, right?
It's amazing when you start talking about age, because you're 46 and I'm younger than you, but you got way more hair than I do.
Yeah, no grays either.
That's why I sport the hat, so that the dome doesn't go off.
Don't blind you all. But anyway, why don't we get right to it?
Wait a second. Speaking of grays, okay, did you see the picture of Greg Peters and Spanky Anderson, Spanky from Trackside, on Facebook?
Spanky had a lot of fur. You know,
No, the picture was like a recent picture. They both had gray sweatshirts on, and Greg has his gray goatee, and Spanky's got his white beard. They both had stocking caps on, and I think Chris Peters took it or something.
Oh, really?
And he put, or John, I'm not sure, one of them, and he put my dad and grandfather, something like that.
I gotta ask Spanky, because Spanky had a lot of fur, and then he came to help me and run my race team from '96 on. I wonder if that had anything to do with going gray and bald.
With you, I'm sure.
I add stress to people's lives, but oh well.
Oh wait, who's number 2? 2 to go, number 8.
Yeah, that's right. Until you went off on your tangent.
I had to. It was funny.
Facebook. Greg loves Facebook. But anyway, without further ado, young gun number 9 in the battle to be in the top 10 is a young man that races on the Pro All-Star Series. Won Rookie of the Year a couple years ago, not only on the ACT, but then in the Pro All-Star Series. Driver the number 73, Joey Dwyron. So congratulations, Joey Dwyron, being young gun number 9 in the battle of the main young gun competition.
And, you know, we got to throw a shout out for JBJ Machine, who sponsors him. It's his dad's machine shop. And his parents do so much, you know, to help him along, that it's what it's all about, you know. His dad's right there every week, and his mom's right there every week.
Like we talked about every one of them.
You know.
Every one of them. It's their parents. Or somebody's played a part in getting them there. So congratulations, Joey, and you got to tune in next week for the final.
The finalist. The
last
final.
Young gun. And like I said, we released them in no particular order. So young gun number 9, Joey Dwyron.
1 to go.
We'll see you next week on Mainly Motorsports. Welcome to Mainly Motorsports.
To order copies of a show, send a check or money order for $15, shipping and handling included, to Mainly Motorsports, 326 Roosevelt Trail, Windham, Maine 04062. And please add a description of the show.